Moto, courtesy of KTM and you, James Stewart. What do we need to do?
Well, as I was just talking about, especially with Eli, just not to override the corners. And what I mean by in practice, Eli was actually doing a very good job at making the corner one whole corner instead of getting in and slamming into the corner and coming out. He was making it so don't override the corners. And between Eli and Chase, and especially for Eli, he got to get that boy to business. So
all right,
that's what it's going to come down. It's time to give him the business. So one of them's going to get it.
All right, so Eli has to fight back here. And who do you think will leave today with the red plate and the points lead between Sexton and Tomac? It's your chance to vote. Check out the @ProMotocross Instagram story. We've got the poll up there right now, and it is almost a dead heat. 51% say Tomac will be the points leader at the end of the day. 49% currently saying it will be Sexton. I bet you the results will change quite a bit depending on how this first moto goes. And only Joey Savazzi splitting them here on the gate. Yeah,
I mean, they're right there. Roczen still has his fan on him. I would have knocked it over if I was up there. I would have probably stole it from him. It's hot out here today, so.
Gosh, you guys were gnarly back in the day.
Yeah, man.
No mercy.
I don't know if we're gnarly or just maybe a little, dumb. I don't know.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think the fan, I would have liked it.
So it'll be interesting. Like I said, Caroli back in action. He has not raced in the series since round 4 at High Point. And he was second fastest in qualifying, and he was nailing starts when he was here early in the year with the help of that Pirelli scoop, the more sand-focused tire. And then we mentioned Tomac running the Dunlop scoop. Fly Racing 30-second card is up. Super, super, super critical moment in this series, this first moto from Budds Creek.
Very important. Important to get off the gate and also be calm those first couple laps, depending on how much water they put down. So we're about to get it. I'm excited for this one. I think we all are. So we're about to find out.
Oh, yeah. We have not had a championship chase this close since 2007. Tim Ferry and Andrew Short were actually tied for the points lead at this juncture of the series. Card sideways. Revs are up. Gates down. McElrath, a good start in the 12, but it's going to be Caroli. No, he goes too far wide. 10 Roczen knifes underneath and has the motorsport.com whole shot.
Yeah, Eli looked like he didn't get the best jump. Caroli, he got a good jump, and he couldn't turn the thing. That scoop was digging.
But it's actually Dungey, the other Red Bull KTM, moving into second. Barsha right behind him. Caroli fourth, and as mentioned, Roczen with the lead.
All right, Ken, fastest qualifier. Now, this should be pretty comfortable. He's used to seeing that number 5 behind him at some point. It's probably whole career, but look at Eli. He's made a bunch of moves up.
Yeah, he's trying to get Sexton right now as they go to the top of that hill. I think he might have made the move.
Yeah.
This is, you don't normally see this kind of push from Tomac early, but he got around Sexton, Caroli, and he's on the move.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing with Eli right now, he's trying to show some force, and I think he knows that with Chase.
Oh, no! Sexton down in a front flip. He's okay, but he's going to lose a ton of ground.
Wow. And all that was caused from Eli passing him, going up that hill. Wow.
Start thinking about it?
Yeah, I know you start thinking about it, and especially you were just saying it. You're not usually seeing that with Chase and with Eli making a move. And last time he did that.
Oh, it's Caroli down too.
Oh, man.
Yep.
These first couple laps, they're a little hectic around here.
Yeah. And the bike's a little bit torn up. The side panel, he's got to pick the thing up.
Well, he might have came together with somebody to have that thing go through.
So now Tomac is in the third behind Dungey and Roczen. So things happening in a hurry. And this is exactly what you want to see if you're an Eli Tomac fan. He is on his game today. And Sexton is going to be in straight survival mode. Going to have to make a ton of passes to salvage points.
Well, it's important for Eli to keep charging forward. I know he probably knew Chase crashed. You can sense it, and it'd be critical for him to see how he feels. He keeps moving forward or not.
Let's check it out here with Sexton on the outside.
Yeah, Chase gets in, and he gets in that loose stuff, and he got lucky right there with Tony on there, and he just buries that front end. So, again, I think all that was going on because Eli made that pass. He just kind of loses the front, and it just sticks on him right there.
Whoa. Yeah, so you can see the frustration.
Yeah, that's as a rider. He's frustrated. He's ready to slam the ground, but he remembered what he was trying to do. Don't worry about doing that. Looks like Eli made the pass on Mr. RD5 Coffee.
No, not quite, actually. Dungey's right there, yeah.
Excuse me.
We're looking for Roczen. Is Roczen that far gone already? 2.2 seconds is a lead for Roczen.
That's what Ken does. He left his green on me, so wow.
And Dungey trying to hold Tomac off. Big power move on the outside by Tomac. Wow.
And as I was saying, he made the move on RD5 Coffee back there. Yeah, it's just
got a time machine.
Yeah, it's just a little off right now, but yeah, Eli's trying to make it, and I think he knows what Ken's probably, the race is probably going to come back to him, so he doesn't want to get caught up behind Dungeon and let Ken get comfortable up front. So
now we got a replay here of some more drama for Sexton to the right side. There he is. Oh, a rider goes down in front of him, and he gets tangled in another front flip.
Wow. Wow. Now, if you're Chase right now, you got to calm down. Let the race go. Don't worry about the win. Now it's points chasing. Like, all you need to do is beat as many people as you can. So, wow.
25th place for your series points leader. And we'll dwell on the point a little bit more. So you think Tomac gets by. Does that rattle Sexton a little bit, or he's just thinking not in the moment, so to speak?
Well, I'm sure Chase and his team let him know Tomac picked the scoop tire. So once Chase was in front of him off the start, he's like, okay, that's a win. He didn't get it to me off the start. And then now, all of a sudden, Chase is battling, and Eli comes passing him and somebody else, flying past him. And I think that threw him off. And you can see Eli was moving forward. Chase, it definitely got to him, and he went down. The first one. The second one is just being back because of the first one caused the second one. And I would say 100% Eli passing Chase was a big moment of what's going on with this race.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now you're seeing that championship experience. Tomac, it's completely fallen right where he wants it to, as he has caught Roczen for the lead, and Sexton is in 25th place. And the fans always love a classic Roczen versus Tomac duel, and they've got it right now.
Yeah, it's going to be important for Eli. I think he needs to get around like Ken. That way he can just kind of calmly get in the rhythm. And we'll see how much fight Ken puts up to him. But
Eli almost threw it away.
I also think with Eli, with that scoop tire, as this track gets worn out and it gets drier, that scoop's probably not going to be as good. So if you're looking at it with it being a little bit wet, this is probably the best scenario for Eli as far as with the tire and how much traction he's going to be able to have. So for him, all these other guys are being a little cautious. I think he's really aggressive because he has an aggressive rear tire that has more traction right now with the track being a little bit loose.
Okay, a couple things to watch. Thor battle box, that is Sexton weaving his way literally through traffic. And then the graphic is showing you where the point standings would be right now if the race ended like this. And don't forget that Tomac can gain even more ground because he's trying to get Roczen for the lead. But Sexton has made a bunch of passes. He's not even in a points-paying position. You have to be in the top 20 to score any points.
Yeah, what's important with Chase right now, out of all the tracks that you can go down on the first lap, this is one. It's been kind of one-lined. And as you can see how spread out everybody gets, just like that 250 class, it's going to make it difficult. But with Chase, he also is in a class where it's hot outside, so he might not be able to make the passes as quick, but as long as he doesn't make another mistake, some of these guys are going to start getting tired, so he's just going to automatically pass guys because of his being in shape. So he just needs to stay calm and try to pick off as many people as he can. If he can get back to top 5, then I would say it's just like a win to me here.
He just made 11 passes on this lap to get into the top 20. I think he just got around Jeremy Smith on the Hunter Racing Kawasaki. So he's into a points-paying spot, and Tomac is into the lead.
Yeah, Eli made a good pass. He hugged that inside, and you got to give Eli credit because he came out with authority. And as I was saying, like, he needed to give him the business, show some kind of fight in him, and he did. And look how it turned his whole race upside down right now.
It's actually Randonella on the Kawasaki who Sexton passed. He's trying to get Smith. Whoa, right now, and he almost threw it away again.
Yeah, I don't think Chase has been in this position all year long. He's been in some situations where Eli's passed him and he's maybe not been up front. But this is it's a sense of urgency. Not only just the title, there's only a few races left, but it's going to be important for Chase to just realize, fight for this moto. Don't worry about like Eli's out front. Don't worry about how much you lost. Just worry about how much you can gain at this point. And I think what you're watching is Chase starting to realize in the back of his head that, oh my gosh, I've lost all these points. And I think if he does that, he's going to have another crash here. So hopefully he settles down and just fight for what you get.
Made the move on Jeremy Smith, so now he's in 17th. Josh Gilbert, rider out of the UK, would be next in the 16th spot. And at least he's picking up a few points here, but right now a massive, massive gain for Eli Tomac on the monster Yamaha Star Racing machine. in the points as he's getting away from Roxon, Dungey, and the rest of the field. Here's the pass, the number 3, powering up the inside and bringing the crowd to life here at Budds Creek. Eli Tomac out front.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of the year. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Rebel Renee. Rebel Renee is the most outspoken member of her book club. And she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at trivia night.
Cleveland.
And she isn't above greasing some palms to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico because savings and great service are 2 things she'd never rebel against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
Quite a bit of drama going on here at Budds Creek. Good battle. Aaron Plessinger in the 7th. Jason Anderson. Nice move of the Monster Cowie to get around him on the outside.
Yeah.
Plessinger coming back.
Yeah, Jason's riding good. I think he's trying to realize he can get up to Dungey, top 3 right there, and maybe possibly get Ken Roxon. So you got to think Jason knows he went around Chase when Chase went down, and it's one less guy. He's been the 3rd place guy, so I think now he moves up to 2nd, and we'll see if he keeps charging forward.
Rather be the 2nd place guy than the 3rd place guy, right? So at least he's got that opportunity today. Tomac is 3 seconds up on Roxon, as Anderson will next set his sights on Dungey, but it's about 4 seconds ahead. And Dungey has been looking for that podium. He's got several 4th place finishes, I think 4 of them this year. Still looking for that podium as Dungey in his comeback season after 5 years off. Let's give you the motosport.com whole shot replay here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it goes well for Tomac in the beginning, but he holds on to it. Caroli turned down for what, but he can't get that bike turned. That scoop is hooking up on him, and Ken Roxon pulls a whole shot, and there he goes.
It's turned down for not.
Yeah, turned down for not.
Yeah, he didn't turn, and that put Roxon right where he wanted to be, but Dungey behind him. And then Caroli went down. It's weird, he almost tagged Sexton, and then the very next corner he was down. So Caroli's race was upset from that. I'm trying to find Caroli. He is in 30th right now. So it's a tough one for the 9-time world champ out of Italy. So we focus back in on Tomac.
Woo! Yeah, a little rough coming down that hill, but as you're watching, Tomac's in pretty much control right now. I don't think he's going to push the issue too hard. He knows that Roxon's behind him, and he's not worried about it. So you'll probably see this gap just slowly, build. But the way he was riding that first part of the race, you won't see him ride like that. He's smart enough to know, and he'll start keeping that energy for the 2nd moto to just stay up.
This morning announced today, Team USA for the Motocross of Nations. It's no surprise it will be Tomac and Sexton on the team. And the 250 slot, it's going to be Justin Cooper. And here's the AMA's Mike Pelletier with more on the selection process.
First and foremost, to be back at Redbud on American soil, that just brings a whole different energy level to the whole program. So we're really excited. We pushed the announcement back to Budds Creek. Wanted to see some riding and get a little more feel for the team. Obviously, our 450 guys are riding at a level that is just absolutely incredible. So for our MXGP class, we're going to go with Eli Tomac, For our open class, it'll be Chase Sexton, and our MX2 class, we're going to go with Justin Cooper. And we couldn't be happier with that decision.
It's been a little rough for Team USA. 2 out of 3 of the guys have had a rough first lap, so they might be revising that list after that. But
yeah, RJ Hampshire is going to raise his hand. Hey, what about me? What about me? Yeah. So Tomac's starting to get away from Roxon now. He opened it from 2.5 to 3.8 seconds. Sexton. Who's this guy he's trying to make the move on, James? He gets around Malcolm Stewart. That will move him into the 13th spot. And Rod Bell, one of the locals from Maryland, is next. Sexton slicing and dicing.
Yeah, he almost lost the front end there again. Chase is up, they're 13th now?
Well, this will be 12th with that move, yep.
Yeah.
TS drone cam.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, at least somewhat calming down and not trying to make another mistake, because he knows that would be devastating for the championship. And thinking about it, like, this could be, if he makes another mistake, that could be championship over right there. So not only has he made 2 of them, it's a lot of pressure on him not to make another one, but he's holding on. He's obviously got that red plate for a reason, and he's doing his best to get up there. So
12th with that move, and we've said all year the consistency of Sexton. He has been first or second in every moto this year except one. He finished 4th, Moto 1 at Thunder Valley. That's it. So he has not had the bad moto until now. How far can he go? Look at this, though. I actually probably feel like a lot's happened, but more than half of this race still to go as we watch. Yeah. Big Benny Bloss there would be top 10. Sexton starting to close on Bloss and Marchbanks. There's Marchbanks at 11th on the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha.
Now that gap seems really big between, I would say, Craig to Chase. But as I was saying in the beginning, some of these guys are going to start getting tired. It is hot out here today and humid. So if Chase just stays up, he's just automatically going to catch these guys because he's in shape. All of these guys are, but they're going to start coming back. So that gap, or making a second, 2 seconds, might start going to 3 to 4 pretty quickly on all these guys once he gets a little bit deeper into this race.
So Sexton around Marchbanks. That will move him up toward the top 10. We're only halfway through, as I said. 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes. He could save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance with a quick phone call to Geico. As you watch Sexton, you can see the BBMX KTM of Bloss up ahead. Bloss been pretty consistent as of late, but then had bike problems at Unadilla. Told me today he wants to get it back on track, and right now in the top 10, he's doing it. But you got to figure he's going to hear from Sexton soon.
Yeah, Chase is coming. Yeah, Chase is coming on there. I remember racing my last race, Benny Blosser. He was out there, he was in front. I always say that. I'm like, every time I'm like, I was battling, and everybody's like, no, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. He was far, but in my head, I was. I got one of those Grant Langston stories. Like, the way I remember it, it was this way. So.
Okay, so yeah. Bloss was putting it to you that day.
Yeah.
Look at that, 2016?
Yeah, 2016. I didn't even know who he was. I thought he was a lapper at first, and this lapper kept pulling away from me. I was getting mad.
There's Bloss still keeping you contemporary here.
Yeah.
You know, Dunge's last race in 2016, James. Okay,
I don't recall.
All right, okay, all right. There's Bloss trying to hold off Sexton. This is for the top 10. There's only one championship point to gain with each position at this part of the field. Around the top 10, it's only 1 point per position. And right now, Tomac would be scoring 25. Sexton would be only scoring 10. So Sexton has to get as many as he can.
Yeah.
Maybe try to get top 5. That's going to be tough to catch Plessinger.
Yeah, again, I think he's going to need a little luck. Those guys are going to have to really drop off the pace, and Chase keeps his up. But you never know. I think with those guys, he might be able to get up to Aaron if he starts fading back. But I mean, you got to give Benny. He caught him, and then Benny's holding his on. So
yeah.
There's also certain parts of this track that it makes it, see how much time Chase catches. So some parts it might not seem like he's making that much time, and then all of a sudden he'll get in a section, and that's just the way the track is formed. So
makes the move on Bloss. Yeah, it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and then just like that, it happened.
Yeah.
So Sexton now into 10th. Score 11 points for a 10th place finish. That'd be 14 points fewer than Tomac. It's been rough all day for Sexton. Here's practice.
Yeah, he gets in there with a lapper. He tries to get out of line, just slots out. And that was just a startup. This one could have almost been really big right here. He starts losing the front end, and he would hit my dad back in the day.
Your dad just stand there.
Yeah, he stand there, and this was the big one. This is all caused by what was happening, kind of lapse of focus. he's getting mad, he's ready to smack the ground, and then he realizes, and then another one, a lap rider goes over. So right now, he's hot. He's hot, but you can tell he's doing a good job of recovering, because this could have been a lot worse than what it's at right now. He just needs to stay on it.
Watching Anderson last time around, he went 1:59.5. Dungey went 2 minutes 0.4. So he was almost a second quicker than Dungey, who he's trying to catch for the number 3 position. There's Dungey. So now Anderson can see him.
Yeah, Ryan's riding really good. You know, you would expect the way Jason's been riding all year, and the separation that he would have been able to catch Dungey quicker. But, you know, what a start does to a lot of people, and Mr. Coffee had his this morning, and he's ready to go. So good to see Ryan back up here fighting. I'm sure this probably gives him a lot of confidence, because every race that he's been up front, he's been able to stay there. So I think it's about him. It's about just getting up there and finding that leader and finding that speed. He's doing a good job, and they're not too far behind Ken, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they can close up on him too.
Yeah, it could be a 3-rider duel for second, with Tomac measuring it up front with a 6.8 second gap. Dungey's got to deal with lap traffic now, and Anderson.
Yeah, Dungey, hopefully he gets in this section, and just like the 250 class, like there's only a certain parts you can pass him. So if he gets here, he'll be able to hold him off, and he just has to keep Jason behind him as long as he can. And I think as long as he holds Jason, even though Jason's there close, it just gives him more confidence. And I think you'll start to see both of those guys start to close up on Ken.
Oh, Anderson just able to find some traction at the bottom of that off camber.
Yeah, that was gnarly. That's what I talked about at the keys to the Moto, about keeping the corners smooth. You'll see as this track continues to get worn out, you'll get these gnarly hook backs in these corners. And also what you see is how shiny that bottom is. So these guys get that hook back, kicks them back on the inside, then they start spinning. So a corner that could be easily, you can lose a lot of time on it. And also what Jason just did, gain a lot of time. So it's critical to keep those corners good and try to make this pass.
Anderson going to try the inside downhill. That bump just making it a little too difficult. It's a battle for third you're watching here. Dungey on the Red Bull KTM. Again, hadn't raced this series since 2016. Retired in 2017 after winning a Supercross title. And all year it's been brewing like this, right around that podium spot.
Yeah. Unlike Jet in the 250 class, Jason, he's a little bit more like aggressive. So normally Jet was like hanging back, you know, picking his spot. I think what you're going to see with Jason, if he gets close to Dungey,
Plessinger's down.
He's going to try to pass him. So I think Jason's going to try to get on him and jump on him pretty quickly. And Aaron, the goggles.
And there's Sexton going by.
Sexton,
so
yep.
Beneficiaries at 23. That's big.
It's a big points right there.
Then Barcia and Ferrandis. Haven't seen much of Ferrandis today. The defending series champ returning to action last week at Unadilla. They're battling for 6th and 7th. Back to the battle for 3rd and 4th. Anderson's got an opening downhill, and he sends it in.
Yeah, I thought once he caught him, he would make it happen pretty quick. Jason's not really the I'll wait around for a little while kind of guy, so he made it happen. But, you know, looking at the times, Chase has made up quite a bit of time on those guys, so he might be able to catch up to Craig if he keeps it going.
14 seconds he would have to make up. Let's see the lap times. It's only about a second quicker than them right now, but they're all in battles, so we'll see how that affects them.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. If they're out by themselves, then that might be a little difficult. It's going to get, some of these guys are going to start dropping off, and they're going to start battling, especially if Barcia catches up to Christian and Ferrandis. They're going to start tangling with each other, and that gap's going to go down pretty quickly.
Let's reset it for you. Tomac has nearly a 10-second lead over Roxon. Anderson now third. Dungey and Craig top 5. Barcia and Ferrandis battling 6th, 7th, and Savatgy was actually fastest in our first qualifying session earlier today. Sexton 9th, and Plessinger after the crash is 10th.
That was a nice line by Jason right before Henry Hill doubling over that section.
You know, another thing working against Sexton here, you often see attrition be a big part of this series late in the year. But if anything, we got Ferrandis back last week. Malcolm Stewart came back last week. The field is getting thicker. It's getting more difficult as you watch the beta drone cam to make moves.
Yeah, definitely. Ferrandis coming back, and usually when you get guys going back, you know, especially at the end.
Whoa! Ferrandis cuts him off.
Oh yeah, that's a #1 plate pass right there. And as I was saying, you know, usually when guys come back, they try to get their feet wet, but you got to believe with Dylan to have a rough Supercross series, have this big old pretty #1 plate on his bike. hasn't been able to use it. He's coming out with an authority, so I think he's in a different mindset than even my brother and then some of the other guys coming back. He wants to show Eli and those guys that he's here to fight, and this championship would have been different if I was here.
So, yeah, he will not want Sexton to catch him. So he gets around Barcia. Going to try to make a run at his teammate, Craig's Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing squad.
Yeah,
wow.
He looks good right now.
That's impressive, that left-hander.
And I think it's important for all these guys right now is to start greasing these corners and stuff. So you'll probably see they'll look like they'll be going a little bit slower, and actually they end up going faster in these corners because they're trying to avoid these hooks in these things. So I think looks like everybody's somewhat calmed down, and actually Joey's having a good line too. I mean, good ride too.
Well, we want to get the gap here. Savachi, the next rider in line in 9th, would be Sexton. And how big is that gap? There's Savachi, and you still don't see Sexton back there. It's about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's closing down, but again, if he can continue his lines and Joey and these guys not getting in too much, I think the thing that hurt Sexton was what Ferrandis just passed Barcia. They didn't battle. He got around them pretty quickly, so we were kind of counting on those guys battling each other and slowing them down, and that's not happening, so we'll see.
It would be a 12-point edge in the series for Tomac if it ended like this. Go back to Dungey in 4th.
Yeah, now he's closed up on Rox and Jason. That was pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be the battle for 2nd now. I'll tell you what, though, this is a much longer run for Roxon in the last couple of weeks, staying up here in 2nd. This is an improvement for the 94, but is it improved enough to hold Anderson back? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, Jason going to get him right here.
Oh, no, not quite.
Thought better of it. Roxon was a little bit farther. And just like Dungey, I think Jason's going to catch him and just jump on him right now. He won't wait around. And especially when you can see another guy
there
reeling.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful from the 21.
Oh, that was butter right there. And Roxon knows it. He can sense it. And so Jason just gets on him, and it keeps him for being able to move forward, you know, not getting stuck behind these guys. And especially with this track, as you see, if you get caught behind a guy in one of these corners, you lose so much time. So to be able to pass him instantly just keeps your momentum up, and you can pull that gap.
A lot on the line here. Again, Dungey has been searching for that podium all summer long, and he can see it in front of him. There's a lap rider there, and then next up is Dungey. He wants to get Roxon bad.
Yeah, I think Dungey's going to close up on Roxon now. Roxon might not like that, so he might ride a little different when it comes to Mr. RD5, but Ryan's riding really good, and he can sniff that podium out. So if he's going to get Roxon, I think it'll be pretty quick, and he has to make a move like Anderson did. Just get all over him.
Ferrandis has caught Craig quite quickly in the battle for 5th now. You really tell Ferrandis has gotten it rolling. He said a lot of the problem last week, he's never been comfortable. He doesn't think Unadilla is a Yamaha track. He knew he would be better here. The thumb is getting better. The fitness gets better. He got some gate drops under his belt, but he thought the biggest change would just be his bike works better on this track. And he showed some real speed now.
Yeah, I think with Ferrandis, too, and this is building his confidence to be able to come here. And whether that's true or not, like, I think it's nice to be able to have Dylan. He's out of the championship. Believe me, if it was last year and he was in there, he probably wouldn't have said that, but we can all see it. And from the looks like the way Eli's riding, the way Jason's riding, there's some truth to that. So he's going to get around Craig pretty quickly, too. And you can tell he's moving forward. And Craig is starting to reel a little bit.
Yeah.
But still a good ride for him.
This is for 5th. The teammates, with Dungey about 8 seconds up ahead. Sexton not making up a ton of ground on the riders in front of him. So we'll keep watching his battle. Ferrandis against Craig.
Yeah, let's see when Dylan try to get him. Craig's going to funnel back in behind his lapper.
And here's the section where Anderson has made some passes. So it's doable back here.
Yeah. Oh, that was nice.
What'd you see?
He just got that corner, and what he's trying to do is stay close to him because I think he feels like he can pass him pretty quickly in this next section. And if you get him before this, then you can be able to pull time. So I think Dylan's trying to stay close to him, although he lost a little bit of time right there to jump on Craig pretty quick instead of having to make it.
Dungey and Roxon battle in the battle box there on the lower right. That is that 3rd place position. And then the next group is in the upper left. That's the Craig Ferrandis Thor battle box. Sexton is now 3 seconds behind Savacci, where it was 6.
Yeah.
Dungey's looking to make the move.
Yeah, you can tell Roczen picked up the pace by that last lap when he saw RD5. Some people you just don't like getting beat by. And, you know, I know RD, he's been gone for a long time, but there's still no love lost right there. Like, you still don't want to get beat by him, and especially Kent's got a podium chance right now. So I think he could sense maybe if he holds Ryan off, he might be able to catch this thing.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't want to get beat by 5 years retired Dungey for a podium.
Yeah, certain guys, you just pick up the pace. I think, unfortunately for Ryan, when he gets up, it's like racing your teammate. He's just going to pick it up, and there's only 3 laps left. So Ken's going to try his best to hold off on him, because otherwise it ain't going to look good at the Honda truck. They're going to be upset anyway what's going on, so he's going to have to hold him off.
Now or never is the pit board from Carlos Rivera, the mechanic for Dungey. Let's send it down to JT.
Guys, just as you mentioned, the mechanics area down here is the most supportive area I've ever seen in my life for Ryan Dungey. Every message you could ever say, now or never, today's the day, you've got this, focus on Roczen. It's like a cheerleading squad down here for Ryan Dungey.
They get a sense. It's like his coffee thing. He's got some motivational speaks on there. So, yeah, at this point, like, you might not be able to get up here again. I thought maybe he'll be able to win one of these things. So you got to have baby steps, and Ryan, he senses it. So I think he's going to try everything to get around. At least Carlos going to wheel him to get around him.
Oh, Dunge wants that podium bad. Roczen does not want to give it to him. And it's pretty stationary back there. Ferrandis and Craig fighting. They're not close. They're not in this fight. It's one-on-one. Roczen and Dunge. And Dungey cannot quite get to the point where he can show him a wheel.
You know, I think the hard part for Dungey, you know, even though he's back for this whole series, there's a part of feeling like a fill-in rider or a part-time. And I think it's hard for him to really get aggressive with these guys. Like, when Jason went past Ken, you know, he was aggressive. He didn't mind if he would have hit him. I don't think Ryan rides like that. He's never been like a super aggressive guy, but coming back in and racing this series, I bet part of his mind is like he's not all the way there. So it's going to be tough for him to, like, I think he has to make that happen with Ken and just be aggressive. Otherwise, he's going to follow him, and then he's not going to be able to get around him. So we'll see if he makes it.
Yeah, so that is a big difference. I never thought of it that way. It's almost like he's a guest here.
Yes. It's like a fill-in rider, like some of these guys that's coming in, and I think that's the way he rides. And all the other riders, they sense that. I mean, I think that's why Ken is, you know, fighting against him, because he knows Ryan's not going to put him aggressive. Now, back in 2014 when Ryan knocked me down, or when he was full-time, you can expect that. But, you know, it makes it difficult for Ryan, and I believe that's his mindset. So hopefully, you know, for his sake, he'll be able to get around Ken. But he's got to be aggressive. He has to change that mindset a little bit and just get aggressive with him.
Big step for Roczen. I mean, he has had big fades the last couple of weeks, but he's been pretty strong here today. Ferrandis and Craig still going at it. Craig, excellent job holding his teammate back for that number 5 spot. Sexton has gotten Savacci, so he scored 1 more point. He's up to 8th.
Yeah, teammates. Again, you ride your teammate different. Here it is. This is where Dylan was getting aggressive, and a couple laps ago, he actually did this corner pretty well. He does it again. So
is Craig going to wave him by?
I don't know. What was up with that?
What's that?
Was he telling him, like, hold on, like, don't?
Not exactly letting him by. He's battling. I don't know what that is.
That was odd.
Arm pump, relaxing the arm. I mean, it'd be tough to do that in a dogfight, but he did hold him off.
Yeah, maybe he was letting him know he was going to go this way, like a little turn signal thing.
Very nice.
Yeah. Or maybe they got close off camera. We didn't see it, him and Dylan. He was giving a little wave back. Nonetheless, whatever it was, Dylan don't look like he liked it that much.
No, I thought he was waving him by, but absolutely not, because half a lap later, Craig's still holding that 5th place spot. Got to wonder what's on the mind of Craig today. For a little while, we thought he was the front runner for that Team USA pick to drop to a 250 and race for Motocross of Nations. But they have elected to go with Justin Cooper for that spot. So Craig's got to be a little bit bummed to have watched the opening ceremonies today and not be part of the team. A couple of weeks ago, we thought he was a shoo-in for it.
Yeah. I'm sure he is, but the hard thing, when you watch Christian, it always looks like he's going to let him pass. Like, when he waved, just his riding style, he's so smooth, so it makes it look like he might be pulling over and he may be doing a little French connection. I don't know what it was over there, but he's holding his on, and Dylan's been there a few laps now, and he hasn't been able to get him. So I think if Dylan's going to get him, it's going to be a Jason Anderson pass. You'll see him catch him, and he's going to have to aggressively get past him quickly.
Sexton and Barsha in the Thor battle box now, and Sexton has made the move. So he's up to 7th, and the white flag is out. That might be as far as Sexton can go. You get 14 points for a 7th place finish, 25 for a win, which is what Eli Tomac's working on.
You know, I know Chase is going to be disappointed, but overall, that's still a pretty good ride. It could have been a lot worse. And if he can, you know, maybe, I don't think he'll catch Dylan, but maybe if he top 7, how this race started, can't be too mad about it.
And
which he will be.
Oh, he can't be, but yeah, he will be. And well, it's just the points now. I mean, mostly it's just been a battle of who would win, and the points have been a wash. But now, you're going to have to start doing some math, because Tomac would be looking at a 13-point lead with 5 motos to go. Yeah, and all brought by Eli being aggressive that first lap on there, making the pass. So coulda, woulda, shoulda, you never know. I'm going to say that's the way it happened, so that's the way it happened. But, man, Eli, to have a bounce-back moto like this, Chase has beat him the last 3 motos in a row. People have been talking about it's Chase to win, like maybe the old guy, who knows. And Eli came out in beast mode and toe-smacking him right now. Yeah. Not only the crashes for Sexton, but you got to think about how fast Tomac was. Even if we get, well, we will get a rematch in Moto 2, but it is clear that Tomac is on his game today. This is not what we saw at Unadilla. This is a huge improvement, and the fans certainly saluting this championship-style effort. A veteran coming out, cool under fire. He had to respond. He did. Big Moto 1 win for Eli Tomac. Oh, wow. Now you get you a full neck burn. I give him one of those. Okay. Yeah. And what's also, we got to pay attention to second moto, how much energy Tomac has saved since he's been out front and how much Chase has been. So that's going to be critical on a day like this. But Chase is fighting it to the end. You got to give the kid credit. He ain't giving up, but looks like he's going to run into a 7th right there. Oh, yeah. Tomac managed, when he got the second, he just calculatedly worked his way up and around Roczen. Didn't spend too much energy. There is Sexton, the hardest earned 7th you could have. Literally had 2 front flips in this moto. One on his own, one getting tangled with another rider. And he's got to regroup quickly. There's not a lot of time between Moto 1 and Moto 2. Yeah, we got a quick memory. So there's Tomac already resetting for the second moto. He does what he needs to do. Gets the drop on Tomac early at Bud's Creek.
New CRF 250R. Lighter, faster, stronger. Ready to help you find your edge.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of the year. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Rebel Renee. Rebel Renee is the most outspoken member of her book club. And she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at trivia night.
Cleveland.
And she isn't above greasing some palms to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico because savings and great service are 2 things she'd never rebel against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
I am Monster Me.
Introducing the 2023 Beta RR off-road model lineup. Beta has the broadest model selection available, each with its own characteristics, as well as our trademark Italian design and rideability. Choose from a 125, 200, 250, or 300 2-stroke models, or a 350, 390, 430, or 480 4-stroke model. Learn more at betausa.com to locate a dealer near you. Go ahead, you deserve it.
Some like it brand new, but for those of us who like it just the way it is, Lucas High Mileage Fuel Treatment is here for you. High Mileage Fuel Treatment is specially formulated for vehicles having over 75,000 miles. When added to your fuel tank after filling up, our unique Lucas additives go to work, aggressively cleaning and lubricating the entire system. Your high mileage vehicle will be treated to restored power, better fuel economy, and a smoother running engine. Lucas High Mileage Fuel Treatment, for those that like it just the way it is. Lucas Oil, it works.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With a nationwide network of parts and care, Napa helps you get up and go. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
Big crowd and a big day in the championship for Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Eli Tomac getting the edge on Chase Sexton and making a ton of points up in the series. Lucas Oil race recap. Tomac on the 3, passes Sexton early, and then Sexton goes flying.
Yeah, he must have had the keys to the race. Jason must have had the speakerphone on, because I said he needed to give him the business, and he sure did.
And then because Sexton was caught in traffic, he ends up getting tangled and flipping again. In 25th place at this point.
Trickle effect. Yeah, Tomac, then when he made his own mistake, now he's in the back. So all that, but you can tell Tomac came out with some anger. He was coming out with authority, and he showed it.
Getting around Roxon here for the #1 spot. Jason Anderson would get around Ryan Dungey here to move into 3rd.
Ryan's like, dude, you can have it. Daddy's got to change diapers later. You can have this thing. Same thing with Ken. He gets up on Ken, and he's like, you can have it, son. You want it that bad. So Jason rode great.
Yep, that'll put the Kawasaki rider up to the #2 spot. Roxon 3rd. Roxon never yielded at pressure from Dungey all the way. He holds on, and there's the big moto win from Tomac, who will retake a series points lead, but we do have a second moto to run later today. Let's send it to the podium.
Eli Tomac, now last week I know you weren't happy, wasn't what you wanted. That one seemed like a little bit more like it.
Oh yeah, what was important for me there was to make moves early, like the first 5 turns into the top of this uphill was where I was able to get ahead and luckily take some different lines and get past the, a few of the guys there. So, and then I just, was working on lines, trying to get the flow going, and rode way more like myself, like you said. Felt good. I like the traction out here.
Chase Sexton had 2 crashes in that one, was way back. Fought back pretty well, but yeah, really tough moto for your rival there.
Yeah, no idea. Like I said, I knew when I passed him here on this a big uphill. Obviously knew that was key, but everything else I just was focusing on getting to the front.
All right, well, I guess when you're out front that far, it really doesn't matter, does it?
You saw the telltale smile. He knows there's a long way to go, but that was big.
Yeah, that was really big, and you heard what he said. It was key for him to get around them like those first 5 corners. He knew what he was trying to do, and that's why the guy's a 3-time champ. He knows how much that is.
And that completely changed the race and maybe the series. That pass and then the Sexton crash. See, Sexton ends up 7th. Ferrandis not able to get Craig, and Dungey not able to get Roxon. They battled all the way down to the wire. Bloss ends up 11th. Malcolm Stewart 12th. Marchbanks 13th. Rod Bell, one of the local privateers, 15th. Jerry Robbins scoring points in 20th. And Caroli, who was down early, ends up in 19th. We'll give you the full field here. Moran's in 30th. And Marshall Welton had problems right off the bat. He ends up rounding out the top 40. Let's send it back.
Jason Anderson, now each week you've been saying you've been a little disappointed with the 3rd places. That was the 2nd. I know you want to win, but it is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I just want to keep progressing, and I feel like I am. It's just my progression has still kept me in 3rd place. So today to get a step up forward and be in 2nd is nice, but it was carnage just that first lap with people going down. So thankfully I was able to make it through it. My start wasn't the best, but yeah, let's see if we can come out next moto, be up front, and it's warm today, so we'll see how the fitness is.
So one question, I noticed that both Tony Cairoli and Eli Tomac used a scoop tire in the first moto. They both got off to really good starts. Have you considered it at all, or is the track maybe a little bit too hard for it?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because it's like I ride the same tire all week. I'm in New Mexico or California, so running a scoop tire is so different for me. And to be honest, I wasn't getting very good starts on the scoop tire, so it makes me nervous, but I didn't get a good start that time, so maybe the scoop tire is the key. So we'll find out. You'll see.
Well, Jason Anderson making progress. Not winning yet, but we're getting closer.
Something to think about with that scoop tire. Yes, it's pretty hard pack where he rides during the week, so that's not the tire he's used to.
Yeah, if I'm Jason, I'll probably stick with what I know. What you don't realize is that even changing the scoop tire, it also affects the suspension. So if Jason hasn't been riding that and he's obviously not too worried about that start, I think he'll probably stick what he knows.
Only 2 races remain in the 2022 calendar. We got an Ironman Raceway west of Indianapolis next weekend, and then Fox Raceway near San Diego is our season finale. It's also where we had the season opener. That is on September the 3rd. That's it. 2 races and 5 motos left in this championship. Sexton's got to regroup real quick. His teammate had a pretty good run, though. Ken Roczen ends up in 3rd. We'll send it back down to JT.
Ken Roczen, you're back. Pretty good race. Wed a bunch of laps there. I'm sure you were hoping to stay up front, but that has to be a really positive step over a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to be back on the box right here. That means a lot to me. We got a good start, and things are going a lot better. I felt pretty good physically. I'm going to try and rest up really well and have my eyes really wide on the parade lap, see if we can find some good lines. This track's really tricky. We got a lot of off cambers and long ruts and bumps, so maybe do some tweaks on the bike. I'm wrestling it a little bit too much, and it's try to get a little bit more stability, hopefully, and I think that would help me out a lot. But if I can find myself back on the podium one more time and an overall podium, I'd be super stoked for today.
So I noticed that Ryan Dungey pulled up to you, and then it looked like you regrouped a little bit. I don't know if you found a different line, but you gapped back out a little bit. Is that something you were noticing mid-moto? Because I was a little worried he was going to make a move in the last lap there.
Yeah, I tried all the way to the end, but mainly just trying to stay loose, take a little breather for a couple of laps and try to hang in there for these last few laps, and that's what I did to stay on the box. So.
Yeah. Well, podium's a good step for Ken Roczen. It's hot here today, so it's going to be a real test in the second moto.
Yeah, but even doing it in the first moto the way it had been going for Roczen is a pretty good sign. So that's it for our first motos today. We'll only halfway through, though. We'll have a Moto 2. It's Courtney Roczen always working hard, carrying the kids around at the racetrack.
That's
wow.
Straight momming right there. Get in here, kid. You're hanging on the back. That's family.
All right. Well, it's awesome to have you here, James. This is where history was made, in a way, the Bubba Scrub. I don't want to say it was invented here because I'm sure you were doing it, but it's where it really came to be in the public eye. On that jump?
Yeah, it was on this jump. It was going the other way, but it was the same concept. Me and Ricky actually had a good battle, and I did another Bubba Scrub. I think I almost landed on JT, thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason, you probably remember that, 2007. But this was the famous, Bubba Scrub, and wow, didn't think doing it that day would change the history, and now being back, 20 years later, it's really sinking in the more I'm here. So it's an honor. I appreciate everybody, and it's been a blast being up here, being on a call against this legend with Jason and get to talk about and relive some history.
20 years. Where the heck does the time go?
I don't know, man. I've been 32 for like 4 years. I'm telling you. Yeah,
congratulations.
At this age, you're like, I'm 30-ish something. I don't know. Why you want to know my age? But
congratulations.
Yeah, that's cool. That first moto was wild.
It was, and we'll have the rematch here coming up for Moto 2s today, and then more action next week from Ironman. There's your schedule from that Fast Lap qualifying show, MAV TV at 10 a.m. And then 4 straight hours of live coverage on MAV starting at 1 o'clock. That's next Saturday from Ironman Raceway in Indiana. But we're not done from Budds Creek. James Stewart, Jason Thomas, myself, Jason Wygant. We'll be right back with Moto 2 of the 250 class on a pivotal race day here at Budds Creek. But the early advantage, in a big way, goes to Eli Tomac. See if Chase Sexton can fight back in Moto 2. And 250s are up next. So don't go anywhere. MAV